What's up, guys? It's been a minute. I'll admit I haven't been posting videos as I've wanted to in the past few months, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. But instead of making excuses, I'm just gonna go ahead and rededicate myself to having a new routine, being settled in a better situation. Right now, I'm in my daughter's room, so I'll be using her room when she's not here. A lot of you don't know, but I have 50-50 custody of my kids, which is a whole nother story that I'll get into at some point. Maybe you know a little bit about it, maybe not, but I've got 50-50 custody, so I need to make use of the space when the kids aren't here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of use my daughter's room as my office for when she's not here. And this should be a new change, positive change for me, and get into some better routines and better habits. Anyway, I know a lot of you want me to stick to the topic of the video, which is something that I'm kind of battling with in regards to should I give in to that or should I just do my own thing. But for today, I'm going to try to just stick to the topic and not deviate too much. So I got some news of a scenario where there's a married couple. They've been together for, let's say, 50 years. And the male, who is, let's just say he's 85, is mistreating his wife. And it seems that the situation may be due to some sort of mental illness. It could be due to dementia. It could be due to just growing and realizing how much regret there is with the decisions that this older male has made. It could also just be a rut and something that they overcome and they are able to rekindle that love. But in lieu of getting that news, I wanted to talk about how important it is to be selfish and to understand that the decisions we make when we're young, they get amplified when we're older. Time amplifies the choices that we make. So if you're 18 years old right now and you have a little bit of a drinking habit, or you look at your daily routines and for the most part you smoke, you drink, you don't really get much done, if you stick to that path, it might not seem like that big of a deal. It might seem like, you're only getting 1% worse or nothing's happening. If you're smart enough, you'll realize that there is no stagnation. You're either getting 1% worse or 1% better. As you get 1% worse every day, each choice that you make, all those decisions, those negative decisions that you're making, they get amplified, which is how you can end up in the situation where you're 85 years old. The person who's next to you that you chose when you were 30, that you kind of thought was annoying, knew she wasn't really the right one, or switch the situation, vice versa. You're the woman and you picked a guy and you stuck with him and you kind of thought he was annoying. You realized that his habits were not ideal to your lifestyle and what you want, your outcomes. You realize that this isn't the person that you truly wanted. This wasn't really your soulmate. This person already displayed negative traits or negative tendencies at an early age, and you simply ignored them and you powered through it and you loved them through it. A lot of people will say, well, you shouldn't be searching for perfection or you won't find the perfect person. But if you know that certain things are not going to work for you, in my opinion, I think you should be selfish and you need to move. You need to get out. You need to leave the situation. As you guys know, I've been divorced for years now, and that was one of the best decisions I've ever made. My motto is to get 1% better every day. But on that day, as you guys can see in the background, that's my screensaver. It's my screensaver on my phone. It's my screensaver on my computer. And I would say on that day that I filed for divorce and made that decision, I got 50% better. And that's a huge jump. Not many decisions in our life could make us 50% better, but filing on that day made me 50% better. And the reason I filed, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal if you really look at it. Most of you guys would have stayed. It was just a few things that weren't working for me. But I knew that those little things that weren't working for me were changing the way I saw that person. And when I realized that having conversations with that person, opening up, wouldn't really garner any change, they weren't open to discussing things that we need to alter about the situation or the way we handle problems, I knew we'd never get anywhere. There's nothing I can do. Because all you can do as a man is be willing to have a conversation, willing to talk about it, and really listen to what the person says. If your wife tells you, hey, you're gaining a little bit of weight, you should start going to the gym. If you listen to what she's saying, she's telling you you need to change. So don't be upset when 10 years later she leaves you. And don't be upset when 10 years later she realizes, damn, I gave this man 10 extra years of my life and now I'm 40 and I should have left when I was 20. She's pissed. She's going to be upset at you. We don't listen to each other. We don't listen to our intuition. So that 85-year-old man, maybe he's realizing that all along that's not the person he wanted to be with. So now he's treating her like shit. He's raising his voice at her. He's telling her all these things that he knows is going to impact her negatively. I mean, he told her that he wishes she died of a heart attack. And I don't know if he's apologized for it. I don't know if he believes it. I don't know if he means it or not. But all I tried to do in that situation was hear what the person who told me this was saying and try to understand what it means and try to understand how to not put myself in that situation. And what I could take from it was we need to be selfish. We need to choose the people we want to be in our life. We need to be ruthless about it. We need to make logical decisions, and then our emotions will catch up later. Make logical decisions, and then your emotions will catch up later. If you make a logical decision 5 years from now, your emotions are not going to come back around and be like, damn, I need to go back and make a emotional decision. Your logic will always be the thing that you can fall on and the thing that gets you the farthest. Emotions are coming and going all day. They're adjusting the way you see things all day. But if you make a sound decision and you start leaning on your emotions, weighing things out based on pros and cons and consequences, you end up in a better spot. So don't be that 85-year-old man. Don't be that man who is sitting next to his wife and now he has to berate her and treat her like shit because that wasn't supposed to be his wife. Maybe that wasn't supposed to be his wife in the first place. And I'll be honest, I don't know where the situation is going to go with these two people. These are two people that I love, and maybe they can rekindle things and he'll apologize and he'll realize that that wasn't the type of way to carry himself. And maybe not. And maybe my advice stands. You ruthlessly choose your life. You be very careful about the people that you add and subtract from your life. You lean on your logic as far as long-term decision making, and you accept your decisions for what they are. That's the way to carry yourself. And then you give yourself a better shot at being happy later. Always remember, self-love is making decisions that your future self would appreciate that you made back in the day. Always remember that. Nobody gets to 40 and wishes they had started smoking cigarettes at 20. Nobody gets to 40 and wishes they had picked up an alcohol habit at 20. Always love yourself. Treat yourself well. Pay attention to the little gems in these videos. And I'll talk to you guys again next time.